We all have these little everyday rituals that we just do without a second thought. But what if I told you that one of them, getting a manicure, has a history that is absolutely wild?
What if that simple act of self-care has a hidden story that stretches back thousands of years? A story that involves Babylonian warriors, powerful Egyptian queens, and, believe it or not, an accidental discovery in a dentist's office.
You see, long before it was ever about fashion, nail care was all about hygiene and even medicine. For centuries, it was just about being clean and healthy. But, as you can imagine, that practical purpose pretty quickly evolved into something much, much more symbolic.
Okay, let's jump in our time machine and go way back. In the ancient world, the color and condition of your nails, that wasn't just a style choice. Oh no, it was basically a billboard broadcasting your social status, your rank, and your power to every single person you met.
And get this, long before the first nail salon ever opened its doors, you had Babylonian warriors back in 3200 BC using solid gold tools for their manicures. They would darken their nails with kohl, that dark cosmetic powder, not for beauty, but as a ritual to intimidate their enemies before heading into battle. Wild, right? Then you have ancient Egypt, where color was everything. Queens like Nefertiti and Cleopatra used henna to stain their nails a deep, rich red. And this wasn't just a personal preference, it was a privilege. That specific powerful color was strictly forbidden for anyone in the lower classes.
And these social rules were incredibly specific. In Egypt, if you weren't royalty, you were stuck with pale, washed-out colors. Over in China during the Shang dynasty, the aristocrats had their own exclusive recipe for crimson nails. And by the Zhou dynasty, only the royal family could wear gold and silver. Your nails were basically your ID card.
And they achieved all of this with some surprisingly natural ingredients. Egyptians had their henna paste, Babylonians had that kohl powder, and the Chinese used a mix of beeswax and egg whites. But the ancient Romans, well, they took it to another level, using a mixture of sheep's blood and fat. Talk about resourceful. So for centuries, this kind of elaborate nail care was strictly for the rich and powerful. The question is, how did it go from being a royal decree to something you can get done on your lunch break? Well, that shift happened slowly, over hundreds of years. During the Middle Ages and the Renaissance in Europe, things got a lot more subdued. Nails were kept short and buffed, and bold colors were mostly a no-go. But the Victorian age, that's when the game really started to change. The look was still pretty natural. Think tinted oils and a nice clean sheen. But the idea of nail care as a public service was finally born. The first commercial nail salons actually popped up in Paris in the 1870s, and that trend just hopped right across the Atlantic. In 1878, a woman named Mary E. Cobb opened the very first nail salon in the United States, right in New York City. This was a huge deal. For the first time ever, professional nail care was available to the public.
And that just set the stage for the 20th century, which is when everything just exploded. I mean, technology, chemistry, and pop culture all collided, leading to a century of unbelievable innovation in the world of nails.
This timeline just shows you how fast things started moving. In just 60 years, the industry went from inventing the very first modern polish to developing these super sophisticated UV gel systems. And trust me, a few of these breakthroughs have some pretty fantastic origin stories. The very first major nail trends, they were driven by Hollywood. Back in the 1920s and 30s, silent film stars made the moon manicure famous. That's where you leave the little half moon at the base and the tip of the nail bare. It was so chic, so modern, and everybody wanted it. So where did all that color come from? Are you ready for this? Believe it or not, the secret ingredient to modern nail polish was car paint. In the 1930s, a makeup artist named Michel Menard teamed up with Charles Revson, yep, that Revson, of Revlon, and they figured out how to adapt the durable, pigment-based technology used for cars into a polish for nails. A total game changer. And once Technicolor movies came along, these trends got even bigger. Matching your lipstick to your nails became the ultimate fashion statement. By the 1950s, stars like the amazing Rita Hayworth made long, fully painted red nails the absolute defining look of the decade. But maybe the single biggest innovation of the century didn't come from a makeup artist or a chemist. It came from a dentist's office, and it was a complete and total accident. So there's this dentist, Dr. Fred Slack, and he tears his nail while working in his lab. On a whim, he grabs some dental acrylic and a little piece of foil and just fashions a temporary, realistic-looking nail to cover the break. And it worked so well that he had this aha moment, realizing he was onto something huge. He and his brother went on to found the world's first acrylic nail company, and they revolutionized the industry forever.
And that brings us right into the modern era. That same spirit of innovation that started with car paint and dental acrylics has just kept going, transforming nail care into a high-tech, super diverse professional field. I mean, since the year 2000, we've seen UV gel manicures completely take over. Polished formulas have become incredibly chip and fade resistant, and social media now fuels this endless, constantly changing cycle of nail art trends. The technology just keeps getting better and better.
And all of that amazing technology has fueled some massive professional growth. Today, there are around 400,000 licensed nail technicians in the United States alone. This ancient art form has become a major modern industry.
And the job itself is so incredibly varied. On one hand, you've got the cosmetic artistry that we all see in salons. But on the other, you have these specialized fields like medical nail technicians who actually work with podiatrists to provide safe care for at-risk patients.
The career paths are just vast now, from working in a spa or a medical office to doing nails for TV and photo shoots, to becoming a manager, an educator, or even a beauty school instructor. It's truly a world of opportunity. So, what a journey, right? We've gone from nails as this rigid symbol of your social status, all the way to what they are today, a powerful form of personal expression. It's perfectly captured by this quote from Coco Chanel: "Beauty begins the moment you decided to be yourself." So the next time you look down at your hands, whether your nails are polished, buffed, or totally bare, just remember that you are connected to a story that's thousands of years old. So the only question left is, what history will you see at your fingertips?